Welcome to another episode of Muscle in the Morning, brought to you by Iron Mag Labs, the most hardcore bodybuilding supplements on the market. I'm your host, Dave Palumbo, and I'm here to bring you all the latest news in the world of bodybuilding and fitness. It's Monday, September 6, 2014, and on today's show, EVLS Prague Pro Wrap-Up, the curious case of Kai Greene, Allison Frond captures border states, Yersky looking yoked, and Flexotron wins decisively in San Marino. All that and much, much more only on Muscle in the Morning. The EVLS Prague Pro took place this past weekend, and once again, RX Muscle was there live in attendance, without press passes, to bring you all the action from the Czech Republic. In the 212 division, Flex Lewis continued his reign of dominance as he took home the win over second place Baito Abispor and a personal best Jose Raymond, who ended the day with a controversial third. In the open division, the Big Bad Wolf huffed, puffed, and blew down the competition on his way to capturing his second title from this year's European Tour. A slightly flatter version of Dennis Wolf barely edged out Dexter Jackson, who finished second, and an incredible-looking Shawn Rhoden had to settle for third. Interestingly, most people in attendance, including four-time Mr. Olympia Phil Heath, believed Rhoden was the clear-cut winner. In the bikini division, India Paulino captured first place over a spectacular Naomi Ola, who had to finish second. In case you missed it, all the live reported action is up on rxmuscle.com, live from Prague with Chris Aceto and Johnny Styles. Kai Greene added another chapter to what's quickly become a bizarre saga of events stemming back to his questionable antics over the Olympia weekend. After being billed as the ambassador to the show in Prague and 2 weeks of hype coming out of his camp, a softer, overweight version of Kai Greene stepped on stage for the prejudging at the IFBB EVLS Prague Pro. Although he found himself standing in the middle of the first call-out, most agreed that this downgraded version of Kai was third at best when the whistle sounded to end round one. Then, in a continuance of the unexplainable enigma of Kai Greene, he pulled out of the finals, giving the fans a brief acknowledgement on the microphone, but certainly leaving Prague with far more questions than we have answers. The IFBB Border States Pro figure took place this past weekend, and in the end, it was Allison Frond who took home the victory as she narrowly edged out a very good Karen Norland and Julie Mayer. The victory caps off what's been a very successful year for the Texas Beauty, as the win leaves her with 7 top 10 finishes on the season, including a 9th place finish at the Arnold Classic and a 10th place finish at the Olympia, 3 second place finishes, and a victory here in California. The win also serves as a bit of sweet redemption for Frond, who placed 7th at the Border States in 2011, and highlights her ascendance to becoming one of the true stars in the figure division of our sport. IFBB Pro Brian Yersky looks to be packing on some serious muscle, judging by a few photos released last week. The 2012 NPC Nationals overall champ didn't fare too well in his pro debut this year, taking 14th in the Golden State Pro earlier in the season and 15th at the Chicago Wings of Strength Pro. Yersky took 2013 completely off to add size and prepare for making his debut this year. And although he showed some noticeable improvements from his NPC Nationals win, particularly from the back, he still needs to add more size to his massive frame and continue to fill out his legs if he hopes to crack the top 5 on an IFBB stage. Knowing the brutal work ethic and dogged determination of Yersky, there's no doubt that 2015 will prove to be his breakout year. 4 contests in 8 days has got to leave you with some kind of hangover when it's all over. But for Shawn Rhoden, he consistently improved by leaps and bounds from contest to contest, and despite getting some questionable calls in Dubai and Prague, he cemented the incontrovertible win in San Marino over arch rivals Dennis Wolf, who finished second, and Dexter Jackson, who had to settle for third. If anything has been decided over these last 2 weeks post-Olympia, it's that Shawn Rhoden may be the most dangerous man in the IFBB, and the greatest threat to Phil Heath's Olympic legacy. Stay tuned to all your SciTech Nutrition-sponsored European Tour updates only on rxmuscle.com. And that does it for yet another edition of Muscle in the Morning, brought to you by Iron Mag Labs, the most hardcore bodybuilding supplements on the market. Check out ironmaglabs.com today. And for full quotes and Muscle in the Morning bonus features, join Muscle in the Morning's official Facebook page. I'm your host, Dave Palumbo, reminding you to always be true to your passions. And remember to follow us on Twitter and Facebook.